welcome back to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries, and it is supper time, and we're going to have some good old pork chops and some homemade mashed taters. So give me just a minute and let me show you how I put this together. Okay guys, here we go. Alright, first of all, let me get my trash can over here because the pork chops I have here, they do got some fat on them. And I don't know if you can see all that or not, but they do have some fat on them in certain places, so I'm going to just trim that off a little bit. But we're going to put these in some marinade, and my husband wants his in the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and I want mine in my Cajun buttered marinade that I make up myself, and it is so good. And these is going to get thrown on the grill, and hopefully, got my fingers crossed, it don't rain. Because they taste so good on the grill. Everything tastes so good on the grill when it's we have a charcoal grill, and it just tastes good. But anyway, all right. So let's start this. First of all, everything has been sanitized and cleaned. My hands have been washed and cleaned. My cutting board's clean. Now I'm gonna take me a pork chop out here. All right. And some of this fat here, that's just a little bit too much. So, and I'm not a person that eats the fat on meat, guys. You'll find that out as if you stick with me a little while, you'll see that I usually cut my fat off of just about all my meat, like my steak and stuff like that. I just do. I just don't like it on there. Now, you know, if it's marbled in the middle, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. So I leave that on. I mean, it does help keep it a little, more tender. But I just can't hardly stand it. So anyway, I'm going to cut this off. My husband wants some of his left on, but these are still going to be tender. I can still make them tender even without the fat. So something I've never been able to handle. Everybody is different, but that's good enough there for me. So I'm going to put this one over here to the side. And I think I'll eat this one here. I've got 2 for each. So I'm just going to trim this off. Okay, so I've got my pork chop. So what I'm going to do, I have a little bowl over here. I'm going to lay mine in my bowl. And then I'm going to do his while my hands has already been in the pork chops. I'm going to go ahead and trim some of his fat off. So I'm just going to trim just a little bit off of here. He likes a little bit, but he don't like a lot either. So I'm just going to leave about like that on there. I think that would be okay. And then this one, it's not got a whole bunch, but this piece right here, I'm going to go ahead and just get it off too while I'm at it. If that's any more off, he can tell me. But I'm going to have to wash my hands here. Okie doke. So let me get started on his marinade. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I have a couple bowls over here. But first, I do need to clean this off, guys. So, okay, y'all, here we go. So what I do to the chicken, the pork chops, the steak, any kind of meat like that, I take me a knife and I just kind of make little marks, or I just kind of gouge it a little bit is really all I do. And that does help the marinades get down in there. And then sometimes I'll cut little slits down like this. And I just kind of do something like that, just so the marinade can fall down inside of the meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get his Sweet Baby Ray's, okay? And I'm going to shake it up. And this is the Sweet Baby Ray's that we use, no sugar added. Shake that up good. And I'm going to pour some of that over top of his steak. I'm not gonna drown it. Or, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know where steak come from. My goodness. Pork chops. Lord. Sometimes I don't know where these words come from, guys. I really don't know. Anyway, I'm going to take me a spoon. And I just kind of go over it a little bit, and I kind of push it down in the pork chops. And I kind of get it over on the sides. But see, I'm going to have to flip this over a little bit. Or I'm going to have to flip it over, I should say. Lord, my brain ain't together, guys, today. I don't know why. Okay, now let me get a fork. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm just going to cut a few little slits on this side too. Okay. Now I'm going to just pour some more of the Sweet Baby Ray's on his pork chop on the back side. And this will all marinate well. There we go. I think that's going to be plenty. So, the other one, we're going to do the same way. So, let's set this one to the side, and I'm going to get a lid. Okay, we'll set that over there. And I'm going to lay this one in this bowl. But, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. And he doesn't want any seasonings on his pork chop. And I don't blame him. That's because he's using barbecue sauce. So, all right, I'm just going to cut some little slits in this. And I'm going to do the same thing to this pork chop. Okay. Just rub it all over it. Very simple and easy to do, y'all. This is not hard at all. You just got to judge how much barbecue sauce or whatever you're using. You just have to judge on how much you like. Because everybody's, tastes is different. So you just have to use your own judgment on that. Okay. Okay. We're going to flip this one over like we did the first one. Oops. Get it all over the place. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one. So let me get this more center. Okay. Here we go. Good enough. Here, I'm going to put a little bit right here from the side of the bowl. Okie doke. Let me wash my hands off. Prepare them in these. Sometimes I do it on parchment, but I decided to do it on this today. I prepare them in these, and then what I do is I'm going to put these in the refrigerator, okay? And they're going to sit and they're going to marinate for just a little bit. I don't know, probably maybe 30 minutes. So his is ready, guys. The steak, or I'm sorry, where is this steak work coming from, y'all? Anyway, his is ready to go. And I'm going to put his in the refrigerator so they can marinate. I just can't figure out where this steak word's coming from. It's in my head. Maybe I needed to make steak tonight. Instead of pork chops, right? All right. So we're done with barbecue sauce. So now we're going to move on to mine. So what I do is I'm going to take me a bowl and I'm going to take me right about a stick of butter. I had these 2 halves in the refrigerator and I thought I might as well use them up. So I'm going to put this in a bowl. Oops. Just melt just 1 stick of butter. I don't want to melt it until it's like scalding hot. I just want to melt it down just a little bit. So let me go do that, and I'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, guys, here we go. I've melted my butter in the microwave, and I'm going to do is I'm just going to whisk this together a little bit. Like I said, you don't want to get it scalding hot. Just melt it down just a little bit. And whisk it together really good. Butter will separate, so you do need to whisk it, and if you leave it set for any period of time, it will do that too. So I'm just going to lay that down there. Now, here's what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to get my measuring spoons, making the Cajun marinade, and I use the Weber's New Orleans Cajun marinade. And what I do is, I'm going to put that back in there for just a minute. I'm going to pop this lid off. I'm going to try to. Well, if I can get it off, y'all, I don't know. I may have to use a knife to get it. I'm trying to keep the knife away from me. I think I spilled it everywhere. Oh, Lord. A little bit anyway. Well, it's all right. I make messes anyway, so what's it matter? When you cook, there's messes involved. That's the way it is. Tablespoon and a half. Get my half out here. And that's what I'm going to put into my butter. We're going to go ahead and add that. So I'm just going to sprinkle some out in my measuring spoon. You got to be real careful with Cajun. It will light you up if you get way too much Cajun. It's hot. So you can use mesquite or anything that you want, but I've been on a big Cajun kick here lately. All right, there's 1 tablespoon of the Cajun going in. A tablespoon, that's going in there. To 1 stick of butter. So really, it's not, that much that you would think it would be. And I've had it before, and it's not hot. Because I'm going to tell you, I can't hardly stand a hot. With Cajun, I can hardly stand something that's really, really hot. And I did this before, and it's not that bad. I didn't think. But you can use less if you want to. Now, all I'm going to do with this Cajun and the butter, I'm just going to whisk it together. I need to make sure it's all whisked in really good. Okay. And I think we're right about there. All right. And I forgot one thing I meant to show y'all. We're going to add, also, we're going to add some Worcestershire. Now, on the Worcestershire, since this is for pork chops, I'm not adding a tablespoon of that for this. All I'm going to add is 1/2 a tablespoon. And that's going to be it for that. Maybe not even quite 1/2. Right about. But I'm just going to whisk that in too. Now, seasonings are always to your taste, like I always tell you. I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder to this, just a little sprinkle or so. Because this is going to be poured over my meat, so there's no sense in putting it on my meat. We're going to add some garlic powder, a little bit of that. And I'm going to use a little bit of black pepper, but not a lot of the black pepper because I've got Cajun. I don't want it to burn me up. Okay. And we're going to use some white pepper. Now this pepper is milder, but it's ground, so you don't want to put too much of this in there. So I just added just a little shake. What I'm going to do with this, y'all, is I'm just going to do maybe 1/2 of a regular teaspoon. About that much, because I don't want to kill it with garlic. And I've already got some garlic powder in there anyway. So now, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk it in with all of our other seasonings that we added. This is going to be good, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to be delicious. Got to whisk them seasonings in really well. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to move our marinade over to the side for right now. Let me get a washcloth from where I have made a mess. And wipe this. Okay, now here are my pork chops. So this is what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to do basically the same thing with mine that I done to his, as far as cutting little slits in them. So, but I'm gonna have to take one of these out so I can do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna transfer this one over to this paper plate, and all I'm gonna do, guys, is just cut slits in it like I did his. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but it does help that marinade to get down in the pork chop. I'm going to turn this over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side, but I don't cut it all the way through. Got slits cut in the pork chop. I'm going to wash my hand off, and for this one over to the paper plate, and we're going to do the same thing with the other one before we do the marinade. So we've got our meat ready. I'll wash my hands again where I touched the meat. Use a gallon bag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both these pork chops. I'm going to put them in this bag. I probably should have done this with his, but his has got barbecue sauce. It makes it a little hard to do this with, but this marinade is more, I guess it's more liquidy. So you can do this a little better with marinade like that than you can that thick barbecue sauce. I mean, you can do it. But anyway, okay. Without touching that, I'm going to take my marinade, and I'm just going to pour it down in this bag, guys. And this is an easy way to do marinade. Just stick it down in a bag. I got a gallon-sized bag. That's probably what you'd need for about this size of meat. And stick it down in there. And all you're going to do, you're going to pour this down in there. Okay, that's it. That is all you're going to do with that. And then I'm going to push it down just a little bit because we sure don't want that to run out on us. So I'm going to take the air out of it. Zip it up. And then I'm just going to start pushing the marinade around on the pork chops until I get them coated like I want them. And they will. Boy, look at that, y'all. Them's going to be delicious. And like I said, you can do this with whatever kind of seasonings that you like. I mean, if you like mesquite or, like I said, the Cajun, which is what I'm doing, garlic parmesan, you can do this with about anything. So, anyway, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator along with his. We're going to let these marinate for a little bit, about 30 minutes. So, and then we're going to throw them on the grill, and these are going to be delicious. I'll be back here in just a little bit, guys. I thought I'd bring you out and show you the pork chops. They're on our grill, and they're looking so good. Look at this. There's mine with the Cajun marinade, and there is my husband's with the Sweet Baby Rays. And boy, them are going to be delicious. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring you on and show you. I think I showed you before how I mashed my potatoes. We're going to do it again. So I use some Imperial butter. And I'm going to use some half and half cream in these this time. And I don't use a whole lot of cream. The butter's what I use more than anything. So, but let me cut off, well, I'm going to try half of this first. We do use a lot of butter in these. Start with a half a stick. And if that doesn't seem like it's enough, then I'll put more in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little whisk, balloon whisk that goes to my KitchenAid. Now, the potatoes, I just put them in here after I strained them. I'm just going to kind of mash them up a little bit first. Down in there and lock that into place. And we're going to go ahead and get this started. So we're going to pour some cream into my little creamer here. Creamer cup. We're going to try that, but I think that's still going to be too much. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get this going. I'm going to cut some butter off first. I'm just going to cut off a pat at a time. Kind of throw it in there. And then we're going to go ahead and start the mixer. Try on one. And let it kind of melt. That butter will melt into the potatoes. While that's doing that, I'm going to add a little bit of the half and half. I like using this little thing because it only pours so much at a time. That way I don't get too much. Alright, let's do some more butter. And I'll probably have to add more cream because it's balling up in the middle, but they do that. Stick. I use quite a bit of butter in my mashed potatoes, y'all. Because my husband and I, we really like them that way. Alright, I'm going to bump this speed up a little bit. So it can kind of get out of, don't ball up so bad in the middle. Sometimes you have to. Alright, I'm going to cut off some more butter. That mix in there good. And then we'll have to stop it here in a minute just so we can pull some of that off the sides. So, I said just a dab more, half and half. More butter. Butter's what makes your mashed potatoes, y'all, I think. A half and half does make them taste better than milk, I think. Go ahead and turn this off so we can pull some of this off the sides. Okay. Let's go around that bowl here just a little bit so we can get that off the sides. It's just something you have to do. I don't care what you're using, you know, any mixers that way. You have to go around the bowls. Which I've got a flex beater that does help that, but I prefer to use my whisk doing my mashed potatoes because it makes them so fluffy and kind of aerates them. Alright, I'm thinking they need a little more cream because they're pretty thick still. So I'm going to add a little more half and half. Turn this up because they're pretty thick. A little more. Looks like that might be about right. Now I'm going to add this last piece of butter, y'all. So I use a stick of butter in my mashed potatoes, depending on how many I have. Look at them here and see what I think. Let's see. Pull this off the sides. I'm just going to give me a little taste because I want to see where I'm at with them. See if I'm about right, y'all. They're good. But they do need a little more cream. And once you cook so much like that, you about know. It's automatic. It just comes to you. All right, so let's go ahead and do this and get these done. All right, more of the half and half. We may not use it all. Like I said, I'm gonna get them too thin. Make sure. All right. Boy, them look good. All right, guys. Let me check them out, and I'll be right back. I'll use the bowl. Our taters. They're really good. My husband tasted of them. He liked them. It's got enough half and half. It's got enough butter. Okay, guys. Here is the mashed taters. And don't they look yummy? They look delicious. To add a little bit of pepper, I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it a little bit on the top, and then we can mix it in when we go to get it out. And that'll be it. So that's potatoes, and I'm going to cover them up. We're going to go get our pork chops off the grill, and we're going to get ready, and we're going to sit down and have us a good dinner. Anyway, I will show you my plate when I get it done. So I will be back here shortly. Hey guys, dinner is done, and I just wanted to show you about some mashed potatoes. I got that Cajun buttered marinade on my pork chop. Looks really good. Turned out wonderful on the grill. And we've got some super sweet corn, and that is so good there. Y'all ain't never tried that, but I'm sure a lot of you have. But anyway, it's going to be delicious, but I don't have time tonight to do a taste test. I want to go sit down and eat with my husband tonight. I know it's going to be good, so listen. If you don't mind to go to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries on Facebook and on YouTube, and like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. So anyway, listen. Y'all stay safe, and always remember to keep God in your heart and God in your life. Bye.